Hey, this is Bon Diesel, and today I bring you my summary and thoughts on the state of the game with Thylander, an upcoming World Tier 5 and Tidal Basin info, some balancing that we're going to be getting, raid date announcement, and a little speculation at the end. Early spoiler alert on that. Okay, so first we found out that there will be some gun balancing, gun attachment changes, skill mod power changes, and some adjustments to skill power in general. That was during State of the Game with Thylander and the newest community rep, I believe, Chris. We already knew that Tidal Basin, Stronghold, and World Tier 5 were coming on April 5th, but now we know that it will also include 3 gear sets and that there will be 2 new exotics. We now know that there will be a heroic level of mission. Only level 4 control points gave us that before, as well as the ability to run regular missions or invaded missions on their own trees of difficulty. In a trailer on Thursday, we found out that the raid will be releasing on April 25th, but have not gotten an exact time yet. But what we do know is that it will be released at the exact same moment in the entire world, which will allow for people to push for a world's first. And then lastly, we got some clarification on the 4th specialization, which will release in an update after the raid comes out. And we don't have an exact date on that yet. It's a minigun. Okay, so some of my thoughts on this. The gun balancing is the MK17 and the Model 700 are being nerfed a little bit with the, I believe it's the lightweight M4, the LVOAC, and the AA-12 shotgun being buffed a bit. I think this is a good first step. I know I'm seeing a lot of people hoping or wishing for some of the other rifles, some of the other rifle class guns to be buffed up a little bit and not just the MK17 being nerfed. I think there's some similar conversation happening with the Model 700 as well. I agree. I think that'd be nice. I'm kind of curious to if there's going to be some stealth changes as well, but we will have to wait and see and just see what basically what the data miners find, and I'm sure there will be plenty of videos made about that. With the gun attachments, I've seen a lot back and forth about this. I know that people are upset. Basically, there won't be any more negatives, but the positives will be lower unless it's something like a 30 round mag, extended mag. There will now be like an extended mag that's like plus 10, but it won't have any negatives. But the 30 round will have some kind of negative attached to it. I think that a big part of this is that there's enough diversity in the builds and so on and so forth between the brand sets, the upcoming gear sets, all the different talents and attributes, and then the same things like the holstered talents on the guns and things like that, that I suspect they just recognize that finding a truly good balance on top of all of that stuff with the gun mods was maybe just prohibitive to their time, and that at least for now it's just better to just keep it simple stupid kind of a thing. But I would guess we may see this visited again eventually. I suspect they won't completely abandon this system, but we'll have to wait and see. We know that there'll be lower skill mods. The skill mods won't require as much skill power, but what we did find was that the skill power is going to work a little differently. We may see some different values when the game loads up. And honestly, what I kind of gathered from this is that we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I'm really pumped about Tidal Basin. I'm excited to kind of finish. It seems like the Tidal Basin Stronghold is kind of the finish of the main story from the first game, from the release, before we start getting some actual DLCs. Keep in mind, this is not the first DLC. The first DLC, I believe, won't even come out for a few months. It's not even the raid. It's after that. So in theory, this is all release stuff, and I think that's pretty great. I'm excited for the gear sets. It seems like the Patriot one's kind of a Sentry's Mark, and the other 2 are kind of skill focused ones. I'm seeing some discussion about how those are going to impact the game both in PvP and PvE. I think as we can expect, people are worrying too much, or maybe too excited and I don't know. There's all kinds of different opinions. I'll leave my commentary on those for Twitter. The two new exotics look really cool, but I tend to be kind of underwhelmed by a lot of the exotics. The bold action one, I'm super pumped for Hamish. He finally gets that. The heroic level missions should be a great challenge for everyone, especially as everyone gets their builds very refined and figured out. And I think we're going to offer kind of that layer of difficulty that is going to be nice to have as we hit, some, I don't even want to call them lulls, but just some in-between content. And especially over the next couple weeks as everyone grinds hard for their raid gear. The trailer got me pretty hyped because we found out April 25th will be the raid release date, which is one day before my birthday. So that's some pretty good timing. I was going to take that day off anyways. And we found out that after the raid, there will be another release of a patch that will include the 4th specialization, which we now pretty clearly know that it will be the minigun that many people speculated about back when we saw it in a trailer. It doesn't look like I don't think it's going to be the same one that like the big black tusk guys carry around. It looks like it's a little bit smaller version. I'm kind of curious to if it's going to have like an ammo bag on it or something, because there wasn't like a chain magazine run into a backpack the way that like the black tusk heavy works, but we'll have to see. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up, but I have one last little bit of speculation. If you saw my Twitter, I talked about it on there. So this does contain spoilers for the book and the comics. So I'm just going to warn you now. Spoilers. Okay, so I think one of the DLCs will possibly be, possibly the 3rd DLC or a DLC in year 2 will be some type of excursion like what they have in Far Cry New Dawn. And what I think you're going to go do is you're going to go fight Black Tusk on like instanced or very small maps in other cities in the East Coast. The reason I say that is that in the novel and comics, they basically laid out that the Black Tusk is taking over all of the fuel centers, because basically in this situation, whatever force controls the fuel will win. Because, the JTF and even the division to a point can't fight back if they can't fuel their choppers. If the JTF and the army can't fuel their tanks and stuff like that, they'll just be out equipped by Black Tusk. So what I think we're going to be doing is going out to these different sites where they're invading, and we'll be going and trying to push back their invasions all over the country. Who knows if that's really going to happen? I really hope it does. I think that would be very cool. And I think that when you see that helicopter pad by the White House with the very detailed NPC and very detailed helicopter, as Mike Thinks Aloud pointed out a while back, I feel pretty confident about that guess, but who knows, I'm probably wrong. And that's what I have for this video. So if you like the video and you want to see more, please subscribe, like the video, and comment down below with your guesses, your thoughts, so on and so forth. Bond Diesel is the username on Twitch, where I stream multiple times a week, and it's where you can find me on Twitter. If you want more The Division 2 discussion and updates, please check out my podcast, The Echo Cast, on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or your platform of choice. And with all that said, until next time.
1, 2, 3, jump!